Put us hold tight. What is going on? Woo! Hey, everybody. How is everyone doing? All right, y'all heard all the music, shake your shoulders. Then it was like, woo, 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 frozen for a second. So welcome to the She Is Well Virtual Women's Wellness Lounge series. I am going to have a blast every Wednesday because you guys know if we were live, if it wasn't for COVID, we would be somewhere in someone's facility doing our annual She Is Well conference, right? Where we talk about the boobs, breast health, being able to pick them out of lineup, doing your breast self-exam the proper way, right? Making our pinky promises. So comment, all of you ladies that have been to the Women's Wellness Lounge before, tell me what was your favorite October event in the Women's Wellness Lounge. Which one was most memorable for you? Because I promise to make it in a virtual world just as memorable. So I have tonight with me LaTalya Palmer. She is a breast cancer warrior, right, LaTalya? We don't like to say survivor. She is a breast cancer warrior. And she is going to be my first guest that we're having on this Wednesday. It's going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. for the month of October. And we're combining this month with, as you know, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're also combining breast cancer awareness and breast health education with domestic violence and trauma awareness. So I have some amazing guests coming up as well during the remainder of this month. So make sure you tune in. And I also like to say, make sure you comment, share, and tag a friend, right? Because the more people we reach, the more people that watch the show is what I enjoy. It's why I'm here. It's why I show up. So LaTalya, welcome. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Delana. I am truly excited. Always love to be on with you. Yes. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yes. You know, I always love having you on. Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. I know our audio is just, it's all messed up for some reason tonight. Yeah, let me turn this up a little bit more. Yes. So, I absolutely love your energy, right? She is the founder of the Ignited Woman Community. And we're going to share a little bit more about that later on in today's broadcast. But I absolutely love her energy. You guys know that she brings the energy. And the theme for the She Is Well is she is power, she is strong, and she is well. So that is the premise and the three foundational pillars that we're going to actually talk about tonight. So LaTalya, share with us when you first, although I know about it, share with us when you first found out that you had breast cancer.
So I found out on Friday, October 13th, 2017. And it had been a 2-month journey to get into that diagnosis. I drove myself to an emergency room in August because I had a lot of pain under my left arm. And it got to the point where it was just unbearable. I had a small little lump in my breast and it felt like a marble that I could move around, right? But I just didn't know what it was. And so got to the emergency room and anything. Went to the breast specialist 2 days later. They did a biopsy and thought it was a cyst. So they drained it. However, it didn't take all of the liquid out. So they gave me some antibiotics. Told me to come back, I think, in 10 days. Went back in 10 days. It filled back up, right? So it was part fluid, part like mass, like a firm mass. So they just didn't understand what was happening. And so unfortunately, I went through 2 months of testing, biopsies for them to try to diagnose me.
Right.
In the meantime, this small lump had then grown to 12 centimeters. So I'm literally walking around with a lump about this big. Felt like I had 3 breasts. It was really heavy on my left breast. So the final biopsy was done. I had to fight, and you were part of this fight. I had to fight to get the PET scan. They gave me the MRI. I couldn't tell what it was, but it wasn't until they gave me the PET scan that they were able to fully see what was going on.
Right.
I kept paying co-pays. Like every time I went, it was a co-pay. So the doctor told me that, I didn't have to come back in for the results that last time. I could call.
Right.
Or she would call me. And so I asked her if I could have someone on the phone with me because I didn't know what the news was going to be and whether or not I could deal with it on my own. And what was happening every time I went to the doctor, I got overwhelmed and I couldn't process what they were telling me. I didn't understand the medical terminologies. So I asked if I could have someone on the phone. She said yes. And I asked you to be on the call with me. And so when she called me, I did the 3-way, and that's when she gave me the diagnosis. And Delana, you were there, you were on the phone. I just didn't know what I didn't know what that really meant. You hear cancer. I've had family members who had cancer, but I didn't know what that meant for me. And how could my body be cancer? I didn't see that for myself. And I had to regroup. I was devastated.
The other thing I wanted to point out too during that time, and again, because I was there, is that
it was a lot to process. I mean, so I got on the phone with my cousin. She immediately, the first thing I needed to do was change my diet. I had to become a vegan overnight. Thank goodness The other thing I wanted to point out too during
that time and again because I was there, is that I don't know why we're on a delay, so I apologize, you guys, for the audio. LaTalya, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a delay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. There's like a 30-second delay
I can hear
between
you.
you can, okay, so there's like a 30-second delay. So you all, I apologize for the audio issue that we're having. But LaTalya, what I was saying was during that time, what I wanted to point out in the she is power part is the fact that you were persistent because you knew that something was not right with your body. And that is part of being familiar with your breast, being familiar just with your body in general. You know, I always talk about how we have to make sure that we are aware. We have to be advocates for ourselves. And so knowing that this was a 2-month journey for you in the beginning, this was even before you got the diagnosis, you knew that there was something going on, but you were persistent. You didn't just take what they said at face value to know that there was something else more deeper than that going on. So I like the fact that you did exactly what I said, and that is to be an advocate for yourself. You have to. You knew that something was definitely going on with your breast, even
Yes.
after feeling that little
Yeah.
small marble area.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the next part, which is the she is strong, right? So she is power. That was where your power came in. And then the she is strong.
And it was very frustrating and tiring.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very tiring experience because I felt like
Yeah, you is such a delay, LaTalya.
so she is strong. The strength came from remembering who I am,
Right.
remembering that one, I am God's child, right? And all of the promises that were made to me. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me, Delana?
Yes, I can. It is a severe delay.
Okay. So remembering that I was God's child and tapping into, okay, tapping into what God gave me, you know, using the power of the word to speak life into myself, to speak life into my health, using meditation to strengthen myself, using just basic movements to help me get stronger, and building hope and being around people that built me up. That was
Right.
very important because I drew off of the strength of other people as well. And so there were many things that went into just reclaiming and taking back that strength so that I could just simply get up and walk to the bathroom. You know, there were days when I went to chemo when I just felt like I couldn't do it, you know, and one of those angels here on earth that would offer me something to help me get to the next step in my journey.
Right. And I know a lot of that not only has to deal with your physical well-being, but also your mental well-being, right? So that is where the whole strength comes from. It's that inner strength. And so we talk about, I think during that time, and I know you journaled quite a bit in the beginning, you know, especially when you were going through the chemo, you were, you know,
Yeah.
kind of journaling your journey at that particular time, because it is easy for us to kind of come out on the other side and have a difficult time looking back and not realizing what you went through. I know that you was good about tagging your tribe and telling them thank you for what you're doing for me, even in the midst of what you were going through. You did well with, you know, knowing that your tribe came from all sources, not only from, you know, people that you're associated with, your girlfriends, your co-workers. People kind of gathered around you and really became the tribe to help you during that pivotal time, which I felt like I know definitely put you through, whether it was going to get food, groceries, taking your kids, from point A to point B because you couldn't be there, showing up at your kids' basketball games, just all of that means a lot when you know someone who is battling, any cancer for one, but any type of, illness that renders them, sort of in a state where they're not able to show up.
Yes, absolutely. And you touched on so many things that, sometimes I forget the journey. But, the mental piece is important. And I had to do, like, because of the chemotherapy, I had to do crossword puzzles, word searches, anything that would help me to use my critical thinking skills, because I felt like it was withering away. And so things that I would say, things that help you think critically, things that will support you in thinking forward, like just never let your mind go to waste. And that was just one of the key things for me.
Right. And especially during that time, because, there's this terminology that we use in the nursing field, or I know a lot of oncology nurses know about this, and it's called the chemo brain, or brain fog, that you experience when you're going through chemotherapy as well. And I know that was a part in your journey where you struggled with that. And I would always just say to you, just write it down, at the moment that you're thinking about it, write it down and do those puzzles, because it's kind of helping to jar a lot of short and long-term memory things in your mind at that time when you're doing it. So, not to really focus on the doom and gloom and the whole piece of really going through, but I think, for our viewers out there and our listeners, it's part of just having you see that for one moment, things were fine. You discovered a lump and you were persistent with following up with the recommendations of having a PET scan done, the MRI. They initially thought it was just a cyst. And then this was a 2-month period. It wasn't just one visit or 2 visits. It was several visits. So ladies, I want you guys to make sure that you, as I said before, are able to pick your breasts out of a lineup. You guys have heard me say this before. You should be able to pick your breasts out of a lineup. Know them inside and out. Know the imperfections with them. Know the flaws. Know how they sit. Know how they look. All of that. Know what your nipples look like. You should be very, very comfortable and familiar with your breasts, right? We're very comfortable and familiar with a lot of other things that we spend time with. These breasts belong to you, so you should make sure that you are taking great care of them as well. So making sure that you're doing the breast self-exams, and these should be done monthly, right? They should be done monthly at the same time of the month. If generally it should be done during your menstrual cycle. If you are no longer menstruating or you do not have a cycle, it should be done at the same time every month. So if you do it on the 15th of the month or the 3rd Monday of the month, just make sure that that is a time that you are doing your breast self-exam. Now, tonight I had planned to do a demonstration of what that looks like, but I forgot that I had loaned my breast model demos to one of my nurse friends. So I will get those from her, and I want to show you on air live during one of our series how to actually properly perform a breast self-exam. But in the meantime, what I want you to remember is that it should be done monthly at the same time each month, and that you should do 2 things. You should look, 3 things actually. Look, and that's your inspection. So you're looking. I want you to smell and then feel, because yes, your breast, if you have breast cancer or there's any irregularities, there will be an odor. So look and inspect, smell for an odor, and then the last thing is to feel. And so I will show you how to actually perform the proper feeling of your breast so that you can make sure that you are doing it the right way and in the right motion. Okay. All right. So LaTalya, our breast cancer warrior, We,
Yes.
we heard about your journey. We heard about your power, your strength. Now, tell us about your wellness journey. You said a couple minutes ago how you had to basically become a vegan overnight. So that really requires a lot of lifestyle change sort of in a short period of time. I
Discipline.
have trouble with clients doing a lifestyle change in 30 days. So you basically had to do it within 24 hours. So talk to us a little bit about what that looks like on your
Yeah.
wellness journey.
Sure. So it shifted everything for me. I had to be more diligent about my self care. I
Mm-hmm.
had to ensure that I was keeping my stress levels down. And keeping those stress levels down is not always just staying away from people who have drama. It's also dealing with your internal drama and
Mm-hmm.
how you process information, how you react to things. And so for me, I had to understand what my triggers were. I had to, realize the things that I processed and I allowed myself. I had to tell myself, you know what, this is a situation. I can look at what is in front of me. I can resolve it and I can move forward. I don't have to hold on to it. So that was one way, that I had to deal with my own internal trigger. The other thing is I had to do a lot of emotional. Um, I love Louise Hay, and in her
Oh,
book,
yeah.
"It's Heal
Mm-hmm.
Thyself." I have to get the name of it, but in the talked about the metaphysical or the invisible message that correlated with the tumor, and it talked about hardness and holding grudges, the maternal aspect. And so I had healing to do. I had to let go of some things. I had to get some work done emotionally in order to support me in my wellness journey. So, and then, we talked about the food. And so that meant that I had to take all sugar out of my diet. I
Mm-hmm.
had to release the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I still did fish for a little while, but at some point I had to let the fish go as well.
Right.
So it was a total transformation. But I felt the difference. The energy that would have been used to digest all of that food was being used to actually heal me and to strengthen my immune system, right?
Yeah. Right.
I had to do a lot of vitamin C, vitamin D. One of the things I didn't know was that vitamin D was important to a healthy immune system.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I just learned so much about my body.
Right.
And there's no way that I could have gotten through it without taking care of myself, because that wellness brought the strength that I needed to continue on.
Right. To be a warrior, you needed that both physical and mental wellness. So that's what I wanted to point out. And then that leads me to you going through that, right? So
And
you went,
emotional.
yeah, yes, definitely. So you then created what I wanted to jump into next is the Ignited Woman community. So you kind of came out of this sort of like a phoenix rising, sort of, and I remember that being part of your platform years ago was the Phoenix
Yeah,
Rising. And so out of this, you
yeah.
became and created rather the Ignited Woman, which I absolutely love the concept of that because it talks about or gives you the feeling of a woman sort of being on fire for whatever it is in life, right? And so whether it's somebody coming out of a bad relationship, divorce, loss of a loved one, a illness like you did, whatever. Sometimes we just need to kind of go deep and find that internal ignition, if you will, and sort of be able to kind of turn that up
Right.
and do exactly what it is that you're doing
Mhm.
and what you offer them in the Ignited Woman community. And out of that,
Yeah.
you created the Ignited Woman Summit. So that's coming up October 23rd through the 24th. So I want to give someone VIP access, right, to this Ignited Women Summit. Whoever can comment and let us know. Look, I told you guys she has the energy, right? So I want you, whoever can comment and tell me how often you should do your breast self-exam. So whoever can comment and let me know how often should you do your breast self-exam, you will win a VIP access to the Ignited Woman Summit. It is a virtual summit. So I'm looking on my Facebook page as well. So tell me how often you should do your breast self-exam. All right. And then whoever can tell me that wins the VIP access. The other person will win a breast cancer awareness gift from me. It will be a surprise gift. So I told you guys we have gifts, surprises, and giveaways. So you will win a breast cancer awareness gift from me if you can tell me what to look for during your breast self-exam. I gave you 3 things that you should do when you're doing your breast self-exam. So the first one is to tell me how often you should do it. And then the second is to tell me what to look for during your breast self-exam. Okay? All right, ladies, I'm watching. Very good, Marie. Marie got it. She said every month at the same time. So Marie, you win a VIP access to the Ignited Woman Summit. Woo! So I will send your name and information to LaTalya, and she will get your VIP access to you. Okay, LaTalya? So it was Marie who won. All right, Marie. She's so good. She got the second part of the question right too. So Marie is all tuned in. Yep. Look, odor, and feel. All right, Darlacia. So you won. So Darlacia got it too. So Darlacia will get a breast cancer awareness mailed to you. So I will inbox you and hook up with you to give you your breast cancer awareness. And then Marie will become getting VIP access to the Ignited Woman Summit, which also will come with a gift or 2. Okay? Yes, absolutely. All right, ladies. So again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Again, as I said before, make sure that you share. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had with the delay. Sometimes when we get on in the evening, there's a lot of traffic. There's a little bit of a delay with the Wi-Fi, unfortunately. So I apologize for that. But, I'm still dropping some juicy nuggets. So make sure you comment, share, and tag a friend. Congratulations to both Marie and Darlacia for being tonight's winners. The first question talked about how often you should perform a BSE or a breast self-exam, and that is monthly. The second is what to look for when you are doing the breast self-exam, and it is to look, smell for an odor, and then feel. So there are 2 things that you do before you even touch your breast, and that is to look and smell. So I hope you guys learned something throughout tonight's episode of us really talking about being a breast cancer warrior. The biggest thing that I really wanted to convey today is how breast cancer, if you have breast, you're at risk for breast cancer, right? And so your risk increased based upon genealogy, because what we didn't talk about was LaTalya's hereditary status for for BRCA gene that she had in her family. So there was a hereditary component to her being diagnosed. So again, ladies, if you have breast cancer, ladies and men, so definitely make sure that you share that.
To also note that me and my younger sister had it at the same time.
Right, absolutely, yeah. So that was something that I meant to mention in the beginning, as it relates to her specific type of breast cancer, was the BRCA. And again, had it not really, again, been for LaTalya being persistent, her younger sister, which, by the way, was under 40 when she was diagnosed. And so she had not even gone, wasn't beginning the whole mammogram annually to get checked. So luckily that was found. It was caught very early on for her, so that she was able to get the proper treatment and intervention for her breast cancer. So that is why this is so important. Again, if you have breast, you are at risk for breast cancer. Your risk may be different from another woman's, based on, again, genealogy, which is why it's so important to understand in your family, in your maternal and paternal side of your family, who has been exposed to breast cancer, who has breast cancer. So that's very important as well. So understanding that will give you some idea of where your breast cancer risks are. There's other factors as well that play into your risk for cancer, diet being one of them. As LaTalya talked about, she immediately changed her diet. So the various things that we do, you all know I'm a big proponent of decreasing your sugar, right? Being very sugarless in the choices that you make as well. So these are just some of the things that I will be sharing with you throughout the month of October as we talk about breast health and breast cancer awareness. So LaTalya, I'm going to put back up your dates and the website for the Ignited Woman Summit. In closing, is there anything that you want to share, any specific details about the Ignited Woman Summit?
For the summit, we're going to have some amazing speakers that are going to come and share with us how to reclaim our personal power, to give us the juice that we need to achieve the goals and the dreams that we have for our lives. A lot of times we just move in, the space of action, the realm of action, and we kind of leave ourselves behind, if you will. And so we want to tap into that power that we've been given, ignite it, so that we can shine our light brightly. We know that life happens, and when life happens, we're only strengthened by the work that we've done to that point. We don't want to get knocked off of our feet and we can't move any further. We get blown back a little bit, but the power that we have within us will help us to stand strong at the end of the day and move forward, be on purpose, and contribute to this world. So it's a free 2-day summit. And Delana is actually one of my featured speakers. She's going to be talking to us about igniting our personal power so that we can dig into our wellness journey. And she's going to have some juicy nuggets for us. And so I just really, really hope you take an opportunity to invest in yourself and join us on the 23rd and the 24th of October.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm always ready to talk, share, and empower ladies around wellness. So, the Ignited Woman Summit is another opportunity for me to do that. So, ladies, make sure you go to the ignitedwomansummit.com to register and participate in that on October 23rd and the 24th. All right, so that does it for tonight's series on the She Is Well virtual series. So I'm going to close out and give you all a commercial by a sponsor of the series, which is the Girlfriend Therapy, Glitter Me This & Co. And Girlfriend Therapy, I'm sure you guys that follow me have seen the Girlfriend Therapy. We all need. You heard LaTalya talk about how her tribe showed up. Make sure you understand the importance of having a tribe and what it means to be part of that culture and how important it is for us in our everyday lives, regardless of what you're going through and what you're growing through, right? So show up for your girlfriends. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all showing up.